This is a Friday night sports show, and we're getting into North Central and some exciting times. It is Ricky Allen, who he's just as excited because he's seen some massive recruits going on in this week that he didn't even know about. And we're talking of Witcher-Proof Narraport bringing back the great man Corey Jones to play. And Ricky Allen joins me. Hey, Ricky, how are you?
Yeah, going really well, Wayne. Yes, Corey put the boots on last week. We've just got to get a piece of rope and tie him to the forward 50. I think he likes to get up the ground, but that's probably where the injuries will come from. So if we can keep him inside the 50, he might be a bit of a handful.
A handful, but it was a handful to get him to play. He may well be back, which is even more interesting because Witcher-Proof Narraport adding a couple of new names to their list. It was a loss to St Arnan, who came from behind in the last 4 or 5 minutes, nailed you with some late goals, and gee, that's the one that got away, I think, for the D's.
Yeah, it definitely did. They kicked their second point after the final siren. So 12-2 is excellent kicking, Wayne, and probably won them the match in the end. They were kicking them from everywhere, and full credit to St Arnaud. Both sides were desperate. You couldn't question the endeavour, but Tom Douglas up forward for St Arnaud really impressed me. So he was on fire. He was kicking them from everywhere, and certainly, got them over the line. He was the difference in the end. Angus Grant with 3 as well. Jacob Tillig up forward, so he's a bit underdone, their coach, coming back from a hamstring injury, but he was still lively up forward, set up their first 3 or 4 goals. So Witchy, Allison kicking 2, Jones 2, Joel Turner 2, but also Kane Butcher in his second game of AFL footy was really impressive. So he'll be a little bit of a live wire for the Witcher-Proof Narraport Demons up forward. And for, St Arnaud's best players were Tom Douglas, Angus Grant and Harley Durwood. And for Witcher-Proof Narraport, Tom Truan in the ruck, Kane Butcher, and Bo Bish doesn't seem to be slowing down, Wayne. And, for opposition sides, he's on a back flank. If someone could go to him, that'll be good.
I tell you what, don't advise that. You just might well find that he is one of the shining lights, and he's had such a great career, and you know him so well, of course, good mates for many games together for the Red and the Blue. I tell you what, this was the big surprise for my weekend. Bought 8-10-58, beat Donald 7-14-56. If you don't mind, over at the Royal Blues, opposite the Caravan Park, and I'll tell you what, Bort went home with more than the Caravan.
That's right, Wayne. First senior win in over 1,050 days for the Bort Magpies Football Club, so congratulations to them, and it's great to see. One thing you'll find about the league, Wayne, I reckon you cover a few leagues yourself, but if you have a look at the scores, it was 4 points, 2 points, 8 points and 20 points in between the 4 games. They're all really close, and I think we'll find that this year, that if you're a couple of % off or maybe a couple of injuries to key personnel, the opposition side's going to give you a run for your money, which is exciting for the league in terms of not knowing who's going to win. Makes it hard when tipping, of course. But, well done to Bort. And it's no surprise for Bort. Kieran Wilson was best on ground, but also young Will Perryman, who's the son of the goal-kicking legend Mark Perryman from Bort, kicking 3 goals. So I reckon Will's only patched 17 at best. So great to see for Bort. For Donald, Daniel Pearce was best on. Another thing, Wayne, I'll just mention, out of the 8 teams in the league, I look at the best player for the 8 teams. 7 of them actually have come out of the junior football clubs for that town. So that's really good to see that the junior football program that Alice Egan from St Arnaud's now been doing for a number of years seems to be paying dividends for every club. So full credit to the league for the initiative of getting that junior development up and running.
Yeah, certainly is. Talking about junior development, we've got a lot of great kids coming out of Sea Lake and also Birchip Watcham, but this was a massive game. The Tigers down at the George Cartwright Oval get home just.
Yeah, they did. Yep, Sea Lake. A controversial downfield free kick I've read. I have spoken to a Birchip Watcham supporter and they confirmed that it was controversial, so I haven't spoken to anyone from Sea Lake. But yeah, they've pinched the game by all reports, and well done to Sea Lake. It was a tight battle, and I think you got that one right, Wayne, so another tip to you. For Birchip Watcham, Will Sheen at full forward, kicked 5, so 18-year-old again, son of Jim Sheen. Castellano, 3. I think I gave him 3, so another tip there for myself. And Steph Pye also in the best for Birchip Watcham. For Sea Lake, O'Sullivan in the ruck, still going as well as ever. I don't think he'll ever retire or get any worse in form. Anyway, Wade Donovan, Matt Elliott, I reckon we could nearly pick Sea Lake's best most weeks, Wayne.
They're fantastic. They certainly have a lot of players named in the interleague squad, that is for sure. Charlton and Wedderburn. Wedderburn just in a really good match at the Navy Blue Park.
Yeah, and the Twin Towers up forward, Tom Campbell and Will Holt, both 21 years of age, one a bit full forward, one a bit centre-half, and I reckon they'll be swapping a little bit. They're going to cause some headaches for the years to come. They kicked 3 goals each, Isaac Holt kicking 2 as well. Knowing a couple of these young Wedderburn boys, I now since found out, Wayne, they're listening to this program, and I was reminded last Saturday night via a voicemail that I didn't tip them against Charlton, so apparently I should be tipping them more often. So well done to Wedderburn. Yeah, Tom Campbell. Rosengren, who's new to Wedderburn, been best on the first 2 weeks and second best last weekend, so obviously establishing himself well in the league. And for Charlton, Reece Thompson kicked 4, so got thrown forward, so scores were even at three-quarter time, and Wedderburn ran away with it.
And good to have the podcast going out so that folk outside of our broadcast on 106.5 can hear your comments. Ricky Allen at our Flow FM Australia and Flow News 24 pages. Podcasts available on Flow Sports. Have a look at this week. It's going to be massive round 4 action. Wedderburn, they want to get a good start off at Donaldson Park. I reckon, Ricky, you're going to tip against them again because Birch would watch them come to visit, and gee, they look magnificent.
Yeah, they do, the Bulls, yep. Obviously, they didn't have Gordon playing last week. I'm not sure if he's playing again this week. He's a huge addition, one of the top players of the league, so it'll be a big difference if he can come back in. For Wedderburn, it'll be about that young crew firing against them, and they'll really get to test where they're at. The Bulls with Ryan and 3 Hinkley boys, getting the ball up forward to Castellanos. I'm going to give him 4 this week, Wayne. He's leading the goal kicking on 10, but Will Holt, who's at full forward for Wedderburn's, on 9. So, yeah, Castellano for 4 this week for me, and Bulls probably by about the same margin.
Yeah, okay, it's going to be a massive game. I'll go with the Bulls. St Arnaud take on Charlton, this one at Lord Nelson, and what a match this promises to be after St Arnaud's breakthrough win last week. Charlton need a win. They've got to find one from somewhere. I think the Navy Blues might go up that bumpy stretch of road and might just get over the line. Yeah,
I'm with you, Wayne. I was really impressed with St Arnaud last week. The young kids, they had 3 kids debuting. They're a bit like Witchy in terms of had a couple of key personnel go down with injuries, but couldn't be more impressed. And Tom Douglas led from the front up forward. So for mine, I reckon Charlton, they'll be looking at the papers. They would have spoken to people from Witchy. They would know about Tom Douglas. I'm presuming Tim Hill will go to him and close him down and do a really good job. When Charlton do that, it'll limit St Arnaud's scoring ability. And I just don't think, they could surprise me, but I don't think they can kick 12-1 or 12-2 again. They're going to kick a few points along the line somewhere. Charlton, I reckon if they can throw Thompson forward again, they need to kick a score, and that'll be their issue all year. You won't see a blowout in this one, Wayne. It'll be something around the 10 goals to Charlton, maybe 6 or 7 to St Arnaud is my prediction.
All right, and Sea Lake and Daly at home. They take on the Donald in a massive game of football. Donald desperate for another win after dropping the game on that last week and getting that drawn one earlier in the season. What about Sea Lake and Daly at home? You couldn't really tip against the Tigers here.
No, I don't think you can, Wayne, and they proved that last weekend when I tipped against them. They're going to be full of running up there and play that ground really well. So Joel Donald's got them absolutely flying. The usual suspects will be all over this one. For Donald, they're still going to take a little while to click. They've got a number of new players, and they announced 2 last week with Jake Williams and Vendetti to their side. So if those boys, they come with high credentials and great footballing resumes, but it's going to take time to click with the Donald. Sea Lake, yeah, I'm thinking Billy McGuinness will get on top of Witherow down forward. He'll kick 4 or 5. Other than that, they'll have Wade Donham, they'll have Trent Donham, Dal Menico, Matt Elliott. These guys will kick a couple each, and they'll kick enough for a winning score against Donald.
Oh, it's a big match. And what about this? Bought after that first win in over 1,000 days. Get Witcherproof Narraport at Witcherproof. It could be a battle between the great man in his 40s now, Corey Jones, up forward for Witcherproof, and the 17-year-old, the kid coming from the Perryman clan out of Bought. Who's going to win this match, Ricky Allen?
What Witcherproof Narraport's been doing is winning a lot of the contested footy, which has been a great strength of the club for a number of years, but it's also their Achilles heel in terms of when the ball gets to the outside, as St Arnaud did, as Donald did the week before, they end up running away with it in the third and fourth quarter. I don't know whether Corey would be appreciating talking about his age on the radio, Wayne, but in his 40s, he'll go 40, he can kick a couple of goals, or hopefully he stays up there as well. But I expect Kieran Wilson to probably go to him if he doesn't. And that's a big loss to board as it is. Losing Wilson off the half-back does lose a little bit of drive. So it'll all depend on if the foot skills of Wychproof Narraport for this one, Wayne. If they can keep the ball off board and not turn it over like they have been, they should get the win. However, I just don't know if their fitness is there to keep the ball, in possession the whole game. So probably bought Magpies for me on this one.
Oh, he's gone against his own side. He struggled away to get there, but he finally did to tip the board Magpies to have a second win in a row. That is a big tip from Ricky Allen, and I'll tell you what, if he tips Wedderburn against Birchip Watcham, I reckon I'd even go further and say that you've changed a lot in your time on the radio, Ricky.
Just testing to see who's actually listening to me, Wayne. Probably no one.
I think they are. It's great to have your company on North Central Football, Ricky Allen, calling it each week.
Thanks, Wayne. Good on you.